Hey now, what's going on everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and for anybody that's already a subscriber to my channel, you would know that over the last couple of days I've been posting reviews for the Back to the Future movies. And today I was planning on continuing that, posting my review for Back to the Future Part 3, until I realized that today is October 3rd. And apparently October 3rd is Mean Girls Day. You know what, I didn't even really know this until on social media. Lindsay Lohan posted about it and a bunch of other people are posting about it. So I thought, you know what, let's take a detour. Let's instead watch and review Mean Girls, which is a 2004 comedy film that stars Lindsay Lohan. She plays Cady Heron, or Katie, as she says. Katie she used to live in Africa. Yes, Africa. But she's moved here. She's going to high school for the very first time, public high school. And she quickly starts to hang out with Lizzie Kaplan as Janice and this other kid. And they come up with this plan, a plan to get back at the meanest, most annoying type girl in the school, the biggest bully, Regina George, played by Rachel McAdams, her in her plastics group. So Lindsay Lohan has to almost infiltrate this group, become a member, gain their trust, get all of the secrets out of them, until she starts to become one of them, starts to like being one of them. Oops! That wasn't part of the plan. Now, what I think of Mean Girls is I very much enjoy this movie. I do. There's a lot of fun to be had with this film, but I also like what the movie's about. First things first, let's talk about Lindsay Lohan as Caddy, because I really like Lindsay Lohan in this movie. I know a lot of people might, when they think of her, they might think of her when she was younger, a child actress, and some of the movies she did then. But for me, this is the movie I think of for Lindsay Lohan. This is probably her last movie that she made, because some of the other films since this, I don't know. And even just, she's very pretty in this movie. And then seeing her now, I mean, I don't want to say anything about that, but I think this was like one of the last movies where she shined all the way through. Even her character, she's very smart, she's into math, and she's a well-rounded person from where she's come from. But then when she comes here, she's very naive and she doesn't know hardly anything, and that's why she's easily influenced. So when she does start to hang out with Lizzie Kaplan, who I like very much, especially in this movie, and the fact that Lindsay becomes so close to Regina George in the plastics, and how easily she falls into that trap, that's a little fascinating to watch. Watch a girl like her become, how she easily becomes just like them. Let's talk about Rachel McAdams as Regina George. Rachel McAdams, just in general, she's very pretty. She comes off in real life like a really nice person, but she's too good as this Regina George character. Like, I buy her as this bitch, and she's rude to everybody. Even to her mom, who's played by Amy Poehler, by the way, very funny, and she's a horrible person. I mean, she even keeps a book where she constantly trashes different people in the school. She writes it down to almost make a mental note of it. Her group, the Plastics, we have Amanda Seyfried as Karen. And Amanda Seyfried is so dumb in this movie. Like, it's hilarious. Some of the stuff that she says, some of the dumb stuff that she says. One of the very first things that you hear her say is to Lindsay Lohan, since Lindsay Lohan just moved from Africa. She looks at her and she says, "If you're from Africa, why are you white?" And then, of course, the other girl, Gretchen, who's played by Lacey Chabert, she says, "You can't just ask people why are they white. You can't do that." Gretchen, she's probably the closest to Regina George out of all of them, but I like when Lindsay Lohan starts to mess with the group and starts to turn all of them against each other, because at the beginning they follow her around like puppy dogs. It's pathetic. But when you see them start to get jealous of each other or start to hate each other, I think some of that stuff is very funny. Tina Fey as Miss Norbury. I mean, you should know that Tina Fey's in this movie. If Amy Poehler's in this movie, those two go together like glue. They're just always stuck to the hip together. Either way, though, I like Tina Fey in this movie. I like she's self-aware. She's comical. She's not over the top and too goofy. I think she wrote this movie. Yeah, she wrote this movie. So this is her baby. This is, she's very in tune with high schoolers. Even this movie is like 10, 11 years old now, and I think it's still pretty relevant as far as how high school is. I can relate to this being how high school was, how petty it was, how ridiculous some of the people and teenagers, like what they were obsessed about and talked about, and the drama that went on and the people talking behind everybody's back. It's funny how over the top the situations is, but then it's also kind of really sad how accurate some of these situations are. I love the moments when Lindsay Lohan starts to relate everything, these situations, back to when she lived in Africa, and connect these teenagers with animals in the jungle, and they're just wilding out and going crazy. And then the moment when they actually do go crazy in the middle of the hallways because that book gets sent out to everybody. Also, Tim Meadows as the principal is very, very comical. He's one of my favorite characters in this film. Last character I want to mention is Aaron. He is the love interest for Lindsay Lohan. He's the former boyfriend of Rachel McAdams. So, of course, now that Lindsay Lohan likes him, that's another big conflict between them. Aaron, I mean, he's here. He's a good-looking guy, so okay, they're lusting after him. My whole thing every time I see this movie is that the actor playing Aaron looks about 28 years old. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of times high school movies, they'll cast older people in their 20s, but usually, or hopefully, they can pass for the age. This kid does not pass for a high school kid. I'm sorry, unless he's been held back 10 years. I'm not buying it. All in all, I really enjoy this film. I think it's very funny, even after, I don't know how many times I've watched it, but rewatching it now, I'm still laughing out loud in a lot of the stuff. And also, I like what it says about people who talk about each other and the drama, high school, and how it's all petty, and it tries to make you understand that maybe that's not how you should go through life or high school. Hell, even the part at the end when Rachel McAdams gets hit by the bus, that's one of the moments where it's like, wow, they fucking went for it. Like, I like this movie. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Mean Girls? Do you like it also? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!